Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Classic video. Once again, I'm in the mountains of Timber Gold Trails looking for puma. However, the very first thing I found was not a puma. It was a very large bighorn ram, which was actually on the train tracks to start off with. He was actually glitching, trying to get through the tunnel, it looked like. Because if you know the railroad of Timber Gold Trails, there's the tunnels you can go through and they'll teleport you quite a distance away, and I jumped through 2 or 3 of those before I actually start my route for puma hunting, because normally on either the second or the last jump I'll get a puma call, or the first and last jump, I can't remember, but normally on the very last one I will get a puma call. Anyway, so I saw this ram. He then decided to run into, off the railway track into the environment, and I knew he looked big and I wanted to get a shot at him. I I could see him through my spotting scope. However, when I actually tried to locate him through the rifle scope, I was completely lost as to trying to see where he actually was. And I spotted a different ram, but I thought it might have been him because it was also quite a big ram. So I thought, what I'll do is take a shot at this one. The very worst thing that happens is I end up shooting this one and it's not him, but at least I've got something. But what I was hoping was that if it wasn't him, that it would spook him from wherever he was, and I'd be able to get a shot at him with the second shot from this rifle. And that's exactly what happened. He ended up being the same score as the other bighorn ram that I shot, but I forgot to hit record for because I didn't think it was that big last time. But I knew this one looked big, at least as big as the one that was in my lodge. I only got a body hit on him, but if you know bighorn, a body hit is enough to bring them down within not very far. So you actually get to see him lie down and actually start to expire, because if you shoot an animal and wound it, that's what they tend to do as long as you don't keep chasing them. So that's exactly what happened. I went and picked him up, and the first animal of the hunt was a mountain bighorn ram. And now onto the Pumas, which is what I was actually here for. So there was a competition going that started yesterday for the closest shot on a Puma. So I decided the best thing to do would be get the cooler out, the scent spray, and the Predator Jackrabbit cooler, and sit and call them in as close as possible, and shoot them pretty much at point blank range if I could. Now, this was fairly successful, as you'll see. However, it very quickly meant that I was no longer placed for the competition. So I got wondering how people were getting closer shots. And that's going to be pretty much the next few clips of the video, because I worked out what I had to do and it led to some pretty entertaining stuff. However, I will let you watch me calling in this male puma. This was the first method I had of just letting them get as close as possible and then shooting them. Another spot I have found to be really good for the pumas is actually towards the very big lake on Timbergold Trails. And I was walking up here to check to see if I could find any pumas, and I spotted quite a big Rocky Mountain elk. So I decided I'd call him in, and he did end up being a mounter score, which is good, but I've already got a 400 plus now. So it's not something I'd put in the lodge, but it's still something I'm quite happy to take every time I can see one. I saw that he had the back tines, and anytime I see one that's got back tines, I'm kind of inclined to shoot it because at the least it's going to give some good GMs and it's just going to be a nice little addition to a hunt. So I just thought I would add this in just as a little extra before moving on to the eventful Puma stuff that's coming in a moment. So remember that bighorn ram from the start? This is what happened to him, and this is what I was trying to explain with him getting stuck on the railway bridge. This one, however, did not manage to get free, so I decided to shoot him just for some extra added GM whilst looking for more pumas. Now, as I jump through the railway bridge, you'll notice that something happens almost straight away. I get a puma call. Now, this is something that happens nearly every time I do this, jumping through those tunnels. So I really find this a good way of finding them. And it resulted in another fairly close encounter, but still not the closest yet. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. I noticed that people were getting under a meter in their shots, and this was kind of the last straw. I tried again to just let this one come as close as he would, and you can see there he started to smell the air. And you'll notice that this was still a couple of meters away, according to the shot distance. So on this next one, you'll notice that I decided that just laying there wasn't perhaps the best option. I decided that there was something else that might be good. So, you may have heard that there was another one calling as I shot that one. Well, it didn't go very far after I shot that male. It was a female, and she decided to only go a few meters. And I decided that perhaps the best thing to do would be wait until they get as close as they're going to come, then stand up and run at them and shoot them. And this caused, as you will see, some very interesting things. So, first off, I only had one bullet loaded, and that was the only bullet I had left in that pack. So I had to reload, and this female, she got kind of stuck in, like, I don't know, an angry animation. So I kind of almost jumped on her back and shot her through what ended up being a heart shot. But right here, I'm just like, wow, did that really just happen? I was like touching her, like, I was so close. How can that not have been insanely close? And that did end up being my closest shot on a Puma, and it did have me in like 10th place for a while. But even now, I'm not even on the like from because the positions with the competitions, if you don't know, go from 1 to 10. I'm not even in that bracket anymore with a less than a 1 meter shot, which I don't know how that was even a meter because I feel like the barrel of the gun was touching her. So I don't know how that was a meter, but anyway, there's some insanely close shots going on, and however people are doing it, it's got to be. I can only imagine in a way like this. But yeah, how cool to get one that close, a dark red one as well, which I love that fur type, they're so beautiful. And to just get it so close, I thought it was really cool. So I tried this again, ended up getting another female that came in. I'll let you watch that in just a moment once I've stopped rambling. But again, I am no longer on the board for the competition. I'm in like 14th place with that 0 point something shot. So because it was technically just under a meter, but like a couple of centimeters. So I've tried my best for this comp. I've had a lot of fun just working some stuff out with the Pumas and noticing how their flee animation actually works. Also, started to reload my crossbow here when I pressed the wrong key. I did not mean to be reloading my crossbow there. I was meant to be getting the gun and running at her. But of course, she'd had enough time by then to sort of register that I was coming, and she did spook. So this was interesting because this taught me something. They don't flee for very far because I watched a couple of them do this before they stop and look back at you again. So if one flees, don't be afraid to get up and run at it. Run to where it fleed towards. You might just see it stood there. And as you can see, that was a couple of meters that shot. But I gave it my best. I had really good fun entering this comp. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it enjoyable to watch.